Welcome to Omni Love TV, where we explore the all-encompassing love within us and all around us. I'm your host, Lauren Peters. Hey everyone, I'm Lauren Peters, and welcome to another special edition of Omni Love TV Expert Interviews. Now today, you're going to learn how to craft a business that's from the heart so that it is purely who you are. I'm excited to introduce my friend and Radical Life Mentor, Kirsten Roberts, and creator of the Radical Life Project. She just finished her incredible retreat where 10 women's lives were changed forever. And her passion is helping women live to their most incredible potential, as well as teaching that they can have it all. So thank you, Kirsten, for being here on the show today.
Thank you, Lauren. I'm so happy to chat to you and see your gorgeous smile.
So if people can't hear your accent, where are you calling in from?
So I'm from Australia. I'm a good Aussie. You'll hear some good Aussie slang through our chat today. And Americans will often say my name is Kirsten, and here we say Kirsten. So either one is fine. No probs there. And I actually live in a beautiful town called Barwon Heads by the beach, about an hour and a half from Melbourne.
Ooh, I'll have to Google that after.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
All right. So what I do here is I just go ahead and jump into the first question. Are you ready?
I am ready to rock.
Okay. So I want to know, I've been seeing your brand for a very long time and what you've been doing. So explain to us, what is a radical life and what does that look like to you?
Yeah, a radical life is a life where you do have it all, where you love yourself. So you actually can stay loud and proud. I'm awesome. I'm worthy of love. I'm worthy of having great relationships. I'm worthy of doing what fills me up every day. It's where you get to live in joy. So you laugh outrageously. You feel happy. You feel blessed that, this is your awesome life, and where you have wild fulfillment. So, I'm so passionate about women living to their full potential, to embracing their whole brilliance, to being the person that they dream of, but often it gets a bit lost, it gets a bit stifled, they can't make it happen because of all the factors going on in their life. And so for me, a radical life really started when I left the corporate world. And we've coined a phrase in our community called the corporate refugee. And I work with a lot of corporate refugees where, like, in the corporate world, you're always playing someone else's game. And like, you put the mask on, you go into work, you do what's expected of you, you often change the way you speak, you tone yourself down, you're fitting in with like society's norms, which becomes like this herd of sheep just doing the same thing that everybody else is doing next to them, as opposed to letting the brilliance within you, the whole of you out, and living in that, that perfect awesomeness that who you are. So I'm a corporate refugee, and my radical life, started in 2013 when I said goodbye to corporate world forever.
Wow, so you've been doing this for 2.5, almost 3 years?
For about 2 years now in this form. So I've always consulted, always helped other people and other businesses, but did it under other people's banners and other people's ways. So, for instance, I set up a consulting arm for a really big worldwide accounting firm called Crowe Horwath, and it was massively successful, but it was, playing their politics, playing their game, using their processes. We were able to use some of mine, but it was still so much all about them and me conforming to what was expected. So I've been consulting for like many, many years, but now I get to do it as me, fooling me, coming out as me, and being as radical as I want to be, which feels incredible. To do that at the age of 40 was when I started.
That's amazing. So I want to know, did you look this awesome when you first got out of corporate world?
It would be fair to say that there's been an unveiling of the awesome me over the last couple of years. So those who I worked with in my last role at Crowe Horwath would say that I was always out there, a bit out there in their environment, but that was still within the box. So the mohawk definitely came after I left. The freedom with how I express my self-love and say fuck and all those things, that's definitely come since I left the corporate world and peeled all those layers of expectations and shoulds back just to say, here I am, you either love me or you don't, that's fine, but this is me.
Amazing. So can you explain the day that you got out of corporate world and to where you are today?
Yeah, it's been a fantastic journey. It's been a slog a lot of the time. People think that they can people think that they can make sort of easy money in the internet marketing world and so forth. And that's just not the reality. So it's been a really interesting journey to finding my true self. So I knew when I started that I wanted to do group online coaching. I knew there had to be a smarter way to consult with people than the traditional one-on-one model that we've had, that we've always worked with in the corporate world. So I started with my first program, and the program was actually, my very first one was to retailers, because I owned a franchise food group when I was between 2007 and 2012, and that it's called Spud Bar for those people in Australia, and we had about 13 stores. And so I knew retail, so I was coaching retailers, but it wasn't my love. And what's been awesome is that each time I've run my program, I've gotten clearer and clearer about who I wanted to work with, clearer and clearer about the value I give to them. And as a result of that, I've upped the prices. So my first program started at $200 a week. So it was $1,600 per person for 8 weeks. My next program was $3,000. My next program was $6,600. My next program was $8,800. And the next one after that was $12,000. And each time I ran the program, I was so much clearer on who I love to work with, where my true value is, who lifts me up as well as me lifting them up. So the important thing in my world was to just friggin' start. So many people wait for the perfect time, for the perfect knowledge so they can see the end game. And if they can't see this perfect path to the end game, they don't go anywhere. They stay paralyzed. Whereas by starting and working in the field that you want to be in, you get feedback. You learn what you don't want as much as what you do want. You get experience, you get known. And so each step you're growing further and further, to the point now within the space of 2 years, I now run programs that cost $42,000 per annum for group programs. And my joy is to help women fucking smash their life, smash their business, love themselves so wildly, know that they're worthy of nourishing their body, nourishing their mind. But I only got to this point by doing. And sometimes I fell over. Thankfully, I've always invested in mentors. I've always had the belief that I will get there faster and quicker and with less pain if I pay the best people to teach me. So I've invested, I'm just trying to think of the figure, probably $130,000 over the last 2 years to me growing to be the best person I can be. That's Aussie dollars, so American dollars, just under 100K. To be the best person that I can be, to be the best business person I can be, the best marketer, so I can get in front of people. And there's times when I remember in my first year of business, I would be convinced that either I should go back to corporate or that I should stay small, that I should just be happy with what I've got. I've got 3 kids, 2 of them on the autism spectrum, and my daughter's, we're finalising her diagnosis as well, so we think she's on the autism spectrum. So all gorgeous, beautiful, high-functioning, lovely kids, but there's a lot of work, a lot of management, a lot of support that they get to have. And so I was like, I'm being so guilty. Felt so guilty. I'm being so selfish. My kids need me. This is just pure indulgence, me wanting to do more, to be more, to have more, to fulfill my potential. I should just retreat and stay small and play it safe and just be happy with like $120,000 a year income. And thankfully, my mentor, this happened twice, I was ready to step right back. And my mentor gave me a good talking to and said, how will you feel in yourself if you've settled? How will you feel in yourself if you give up? Is that the sort of role model you want to be for the children? Do you want to be this cranky, sort of mainly stay-at-home mum who knows she's got so much more inside of her and doesn't get there? And because I said to him, I've thought it over, I've been thinking about this for ages, and our beliefs system, our self-limiting beliefs, they feel so real and they feel so right. They feel so true to us because that's our box that we live in. And thankfully, he gave me a royal kick up the arse both times, and I forged ahead. And now, through that and through continuing to learn and to evolve and stripping away my self-limiting beliefs layer by layer by layer, I'm now living my dream life, which is so friggin' incredible.
That's so great. It's really interesting, to hear the parts about your family and how you were asking, should I stay small? Because I know that a lot of the viewers on Omni Love TV have families. And that's normally what I find in some of my coaching, one of the biggest determinants, whether someone plays small or big.
Yeah, and I find it interesting from a mum perspective, and I think it's also because we lose ourselves a bit as a mum. So we compromise on our path to be there more when the kids are young. We feel these duties that a mother should do. And it sort of pre-frames everything. So we because we're focused on somebody other than ourselves for for a few years when the kids are young, and if you've got multiple kids for multiple years, and that, then I think we lose a piece of ourselves in that. I think we lose sight of what our true potential is. I think our dreams get a bit dampened down. We can't quite see the way out. And the way I describe it is that it's like a shroud. For me, it was, I knew I had so much more in me, but I didn't know what it was. It was like this shrouded thing that I just couldn't quite grasp. And I think a lot of mums feel like that and feel the weight of expectations on them, and that this is what they should be doing as a parent. This is the way life should look like. I do, the whole guilt about wanting more, to be wanting fulfilled, to be wanting more abundance, to be wanting more freedom. A lot of women feel guilt that they want that. Like, who am I to want more? I've already got so much more than my friends up the street. Who am I to do this? Should is a wonderful word. I should just be happy with my lot in life. And what my vision is that women all around the world shake that off and scream from the top of their friggin' lungs, I am worthy of having it all. I can live to my potential. I can have balance with my family. I can be so happy and fulfilled. And imagine the influence that has on my children. I'm being a role model for them, showing them how they can create anything that they want, that they don't settle and sacrifice, that they live to their potential, and that doesn't mean giving up on time with the family. It doesn't mean giving up time with yourself. It actually means having it all. And it's beautiful when women can go, I want that. I don't know how to get there, but I want it. And they're ready to take the first step. That's when I'm like, yes, come on.
I was actually going to ask you about that. I was like, this is the first step, right? It's just recognizing that this is what you want and just going somewhere with that. So that,
yeah, it sure is. Sorry, and I just want to share a story if that's okay for the moment. So I've just had a lady sign up with me, and she's actually somebody I went to university with. And so her name's Robin, and she has been in the corporate world since she left uni. We were in halls of residence together back when we were big drinking 18-year-olds. So you're allowed to drink at 18 in Australia. And she's been in the corporate world since then. And like for the last 3 years, she's recognised that she's losing a piece of herself. She looks so tired. She looks so worn. She's hates going to work. She lives for coming home. But then when she's home, she's grumpy. She can be grumpy with the kids. She feels empty inside. And she's gone through the whole emotions of, God, I'm so smart. I'm so capable of more. I want more, but is that being guilty? Isn't my role just to bring up good children and to pay off the mortgage? Why do I get to do this? Am I letting my family down by focusing on me? Is that self-indulgent? And she signed up with me this week for 6 months of coaching to help build her business. She's putting a resignation in next week when her boss returns from holidays.
Yay! Congratulations.
And she's embracing her dream. And that's what it's all about. She didn't know how she was going to get there. She knew she wanted more. She's got ideas of what she wants to do. And she's reaching out to the person who she believes that can help her. So whoever that coach is, whoever that mentor is that you think can help you, get that help. Don't do it on your own, because shit's going to show up. You're going to doubt yourself. There's going to be fear. You're going to want to retreat. You can't, even if you're a smart business chick, often you can't see the wood for the trees because you're in it. And that's where a coach or a mentor guides you through, slaps you around if you need to be slapped around, lovingly embraces you when you need that, and helps you clear all that shit that shows up that tells you you can't do it, you're not good enough, you're not worthy of having it all, that sort of voice that's right on the inside.
Oh, thanks for sharing that story. That really solidifies that idea of just take the freaking step forward. It's tough. I made that step for myself about maybe 2 months ago now. It is probably one of the scariest things I've ever had to do in my life. So yeah, congratulations for Robin.
Yeah, it's very cool.
That leads me into one of the points that you and I are going to discuss. So when you do finally make that first step and you start thinking about building your business and actually building it, you were talking to me yesterday about following traditional internet marketing rules. Can you talk a little bit about your standpoint on this?
Absolutely. Fuck traditional internet marketing rules.
Yes.
It is so stifling to you, who you are. It is so full of, there's some really, really smart people in the internet marketing game, but there's a whole lot of douchebags telling you how it should be done as well. And they're saying that, step 1, you do this, step 2, you do that. A landing page should look like this. Your copy should look like that. And you get so caught up in the shoulds. And, and I have done the same thing over and over and over again. It should look like this. And actually, no, that's got to go then. And tell me the best converting funnel. And what stats should I have on this? And it absolutely shuts you down because you're playing to rules that aren't your own. You're playing to things that aren't you from the heart. And it's like crazy. I've got a woman in the Radical Life Project, which is my community of women who want to have it all and are taking those steps, who the other day I posted a video about fuck traditional internet marketing. I'm just going to speak my message and my voice and give you guys lots of opportunities to work with me and ask you lots. And if you want to, great. And if you don't, you don't. But I'm just going to tell you what comes up through me every day, as opposed to pre-framing and saying it's got to look like this. And Simone said to me, thank God you've given me permission. She's a really smart chick, but she's been so caught up in should I be talking about this? What should it look like? How should I frame this? And sometimes we just need to give ourselves permission to just be, to just talk from the heart, to share us, because that's who people want to work with. They want to work with people. They want to work with people that they connect with emotionally, who they believe in, who they trust. They don't want to work with the people who have the most rigid marketing funnel that it looks this certain way, because that's not who you are.
And how long did it take you to realize this in your own business? Were you floundering around for a little bit?
Yeah. Yep. It's taken me a while. And as I said earlier, the stripping away the layers of the beliefs, the self-limiting beliefs, has been a really massive part of that. To know that my voice is worthy, to know that what I've got to say is worthy. Because a lot of people say, why would people be interested in what I've got to say? Why, there's so many other coaches around, for instance. How can I stand up next to all these other coaches who have this big social media following, for instance? So it has taken me a long time. It's taken me a lot of money as well, because I've invested in people teaching me the right way to do things, or getting people to do it for me, and being in groups where you learn all that. And I'm actually now so comfortable with my voice of what I'm sharing, so comfortable with my message, so confident in me, that it's like, no, this is what I'm going to talk about from the heart. And that's what I'm encouraging women to do, and teaching women to be able to do that, to value what's inside of them and talk about that and own that and stand loud and proud, and fuck what the best converting sales funnel is.
I agree 100%. I'll give a little example of what it looks like when you do go the traditional internet marketing route. So that's actually what happened to me earlier this year. Have I told you about this yet?
No, well, I haven't heard the story.
Okay. So I started out saying, I want to be a coach, and, I've been coaching anyways, so let's just do this. And I went in and I started coaching people. I didn't know much about my market. And I signed up for all of the programs to teach me how to build my business, doing what I wanted to do. I probably signed up for 3 of almost the same program, just to make sure that I was doing it right. Can you already see the problem? So I went on, and with this business idea, this coaching idea, I went and I created my entire website, did all of my email sequences. I wrote about 40 emails. I did the survey funnel. And then the week that I sent off all of that to the developer to implement, this huge thing just dawned on me. It's like, I've built something that I don't 100% believe in. And I'm like, shit. I've spent so much time, so many hours on this business idea, and I now realize it's not completely aligned with who I am and what I want. And so what I did is I floundered around for another maybe 4 to 5 months, up until, let's say, 3 months ago, where I'm just like, fuck all of that. I'm going to build this TV show. I'm going to start talking more about love. And I'm just going to really understand who I am and what my message is. And I started creating content. I stopped worrying about sales. I stopped worrying about getting leads. And then that's when everything else just started pouring in. And so I totally get how, I wish I would have known a year ago that this whole following people's formulas doesn't really work for everyone.
Yeah, exactly. And look, it does work for some people who aren't connected with what their true message is and what they're about. So they're more people who's like, okay, where's a gap in the market? I'm going to go after that. And it's more about short-term, quick gains. And some people can make it work. So I'm not poo-pooing the whole thing. What's awesome is that you started, though. You started and you learnt, and there's still awesome knowledge to be gained from understanding how it works. But understanding that is a loose framework or recommendation, it's not the rules, is so important. But what you said about sharing your message is, in my view, number one way to start. Just start talking. So there's an awesome lady I interviewed for my TV show, K-Rad TV, and her name's Lisa Cordiff, and she's a blogger in Australia. And Lisa just started with her message. So she's about real foods for parents, helping feed their kids. But, small steps to whole foods. It's about being real. Yep, this is the awesome stuff for your kids. This is how, and the family, this is how easy it can be. But we fuck up. We mess up. We fall over. It's not about being perfect. And she just started her blog. She just started talking. She just shared her message. And she had 2 followers to start with, her mum and her sister, and then it grew to 10, and then it grew to 50, and now she's got somewhere, it's about 7,000 followers, I think, and she's built some programs off that because of the loyal followings who love her message. So just start with that message, just start talking. Don't worry about having lots of people hide behind the computer because it's safe. So a bit like what you did, you build out your 40 email sequence. You build out all your landing pages, you get your webinar set up and all of that sort of stuff. And then when the time comes to put your message out there or put yourself out there, you're like, because that's when the shit shows up. So then you just don't go, like you've spent all this time. So let's change the model. Let's start talking first. Let's start interacting with people. Let's put out what you really care about. Then let's turn that into some things where we're capturing emails and we're getting people to come and work with us.
Absolutely. So I heard you talk a little bit about having it all. Now, once you've decided to start creating content, really putting your personality and your purpose out there, where does having it all fall into place?
Having it all falls into place of, I find that the message flows easier when you are true to yourself, in love with yourself, feeling balanced in life, happier because you're more open, you're more creative, you're more visionary. And what tends to happen is when people go, I'm going to start a business, or when shit shows up and they're like feeling overwhelmed or they've got to generate some money, what they tend to do is put their head down and start working. And they work harder, and I've just got to work more, and I've got to do some more hours. And they burrow themselves deeper into that hole. They're so like this, they can't look up, they can't see the things to be grateful for. They can't see the opportunities where they are. They can't get clear on their own vision because they're so focused on where's the next dollar coming from? How am I going to create this? What happens if I get judged? All that sort of stuff. I've done it. I've played it. And, you know, it's been a passion of mine to learn how to change that, to change my mindset. And what I now understand and live by is that when I am taking time out for myself and filling myself up, when I am making sure I'm connecting with the kids, like having time in my day to play a game with my 3-year-old. So before this, my 4-year-old, I was playing Harry McClary this morning during work hours because I wanted to have that connection time with him, to actually realize in ourselves that we're worthy, that we really are worthy. That is having it all, because we're making choices about what serves us. We're not sacrificing ourselves for everybody else. We're not just focused on the dollar that's going to come in because, oh my God, I've got to do this and I've got to prove myself. And we are focused on having it all. And that's making choices. So I get to make a choice as to how much I work and how much I'm with the kids. Now, I work hard. You know, having it all doesn't mean that I only work 4 hours a day. I still work hard because I'm really focused on building my beautiful vision and what I want to achieve. But having it all for me is saying, okay, well, when the kids get home from school, I'm going to chip around with them for a little bit and I might do some work at night. Or for me, I get up at 5 o'clock every day so I can do my meditation, my journaling, that I can set my intentions for the day and that's when I get to do some of my learnings, like read some books or watch some content that I want to learn. So I make choices as to what fills me up. And that's because I know that I'm worthy of it and that I'm a better person, therefore a better mum, therefore a better partner, therefore a better business person when I do that. And so that's my view of having it all.
So having it all is having the choice to do anything.
Yeah,
making the choice and having it.
Exactly. It's having the choice to do what you want without settle and sacrifice. And I'll give you an example. So one of my good friends is in the corporate world. She's the smartest chick I know. She's so bright. And she works for a big consulting firm, and she's leading sort of the women's charge in a very male-dominated and traditional male values business. And she says to me that has the choice. So she works hard. She's away from her kids a lot. She gets treated not fabulously, but she chooses to do that because of what she gets to learn, the projects she gets to be involved with, who she gets to connect with and so forth. But she feels like her only choice is doing that, or she feels like her choice is constrained. It's only playing in the traditional game, or it's sort of being home with the kids and giving that up. Whereas my view on true choice is that there is no settle, there is no sacrifice. When you choose what serves you totally. You choose, and it doesn't mean that another area of your life misses out. You choose and you go, okay, well, I choose to be present with my kids at this time, and I choose to get a cook and a cleaner for the house so I can be more present with them, or I can be with the business. And I choose to get up really early and not get as much sleep, which I'm so happy with that because I know it fills me up. And it's knowing that the way you look at everything is a choice. I'm not explaining myself very clearly.
No, I'm getting it. I'm totally getting it.
Yeah, cool. And look, even with my son, so my oldest son has had some significant mental health issues from his autism. He has quite high anxiety. He's been through some periods of self-harm when in a meltdown he doesn't know where to go. The only way he can see is out, basically. So we've had some pretty full-on times with him. And I used to feel like that I was the linchpin of the entire family and that the responsibility rests with me for everything. And if I fall over, the family falls over. And it was so heavy carrying that cloak. It was the responsibility or the burden felt so heavy of being the one responsible for everything. And so life was like this, I don't know, I've talked about it as having shoulders up, hunched over, waiting for the next crisis to come at us. And like loving Toby dearly, but feeling like I was totally responsible and therefore feeling the burden, feeling the anger deep inside. And when I realised that everything in life is a choice, it was like a weight fell off my shoulders. And it's like, okay, so I've got a choice. It's absolutely, because I used to say we have to do this for Toby. No, this is what we have to do and I have to do this. And have to is this heavy energy, like it's just so suffocating. Whereas once I understood that everything in life was a choice, it's like, hang on, it is absolutely my choice how much I ask Stu to be involved or to do things or what role he takes in how we manage the family. It's absolutely my choice in how we work with therapists, how much we bring from the therapist and put it into the home. You know, it's absolutely my choice how much I'm involved in the school to make sure he's got the best environment at the school. All of that is a choice. And when I realised that none of it was have to, that it's all a choice, it was like, okay, so I'm choosing that. Let's be clear, I'm choosing that. I'm choosing how much support I can get. I'm choosing how much support I can get from outside the family rather than staying in, I'm so responsible for everything. I must do this. I have to do this. And you're, once again, it's like you head down and you slog it out rather than head up. It's all a choice. How else can I get support? How else can I make this easier? How else can I look at this differently? And the whole world opened up for me when I realized that.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. I'm like listening to you talk so much about choice, and it really has opened up a question in my mind. I'm wondering, do you see a difference between choice and freedom? Because I'm almost seeing freedom as an illusion right now. Not to be a Debbie Downer.
That's a big question. That's a big question. Do you know, I actually see freedom and choice being exactly the same thing, because freedom is so different to everybody. Mm-hmm. So, but freedom depends, my view, I love this question, so cool. My view is that freedom is about us truly doing what serves us, truly being who serves us. So the freedom to be me with my mohawk and glasses and out their necklaces. Freedom to speak my voice. Freedom to choose where I work from. Freedom to choose who I have in my life. To me, freedom and choice are so intertwined, but they do depend on you clearing away all that stuff that says, you know, you can't do this, you'll be judged, what if you don't fit in, what if you're not good enough? And when you can start peeling those away, then freedom comes naturally. And it's so incredibly beautiful, because that's when you go, oh, wow, that's what my life can look like. That's what I can create. It's so beautiful.
And just being in that position just recently, it's sort of like when you do get to that point that you've defined as freedom, you actually look around and you're like, oh my God, is this my life?
Yeah.
You're like, I love my life. So thank you for explaining that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we recently moved from Melbourne to Barwon Head. So we moved from the city to the beach. And it was like when we realised that we could really live anywhere we wanted, and it was all a choice as to how we did it and how we rolled out our day-to-day. And Stu, my husband, resigned from his job and came to work in the business with me, as well as be connected with the kids. The freedom that gave us to live life like what we want, what serves us, as opposed to what the rest of the crowd is doing, it's so beautiful.
And so that leads me to this last question. We were talking earlier about taking the path from head to heart and truly being yourself in your business and life. So when you've done all the other steps and you realize that you can have it all and you begin building your business, what does it mean to go from head to heart?
I love when people stop talking from here and start talking from here. And the reason is that our head is covered in shoulds. Our head is covered or, doused in all the lessons we learnt in our corporate life, all of society's norms and expectations. Our head is absolutely governed by our self-limiting beliefs. And we don't trust it. We question what we come up with. We're like, no, that's not how I should be doing that. No, I'm not capable of doing that. Or we can't, things are just a little bit out of reach. And this actually comes back to just speaking your message. Just start speaking your message. When you are just speaking your message and you're not worried about the shoulds and the traditional internet marketing, that's coming from the heart. That's the real you. That's the raw you. When you tap into what it is inside of you, when you actually stop, and I'll just go through a bit of a very quick sort of illustration, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So when you actually stop, there's so many people who don't just stop, especially knowledge, people who have done lots of education and they've been in good corporate roles and all that sort of thing. They learn to be busy and they just go, 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 go. And like, yep, I've got to do a business plan. I'm going to write it out. Okay. And then we're going to do this. And then I'm going to go and do this. And then I'm going to go and do that. And it's like, okay, you're being awesome at being busy, but you're not really feeling. So if you just stop and just close your eyes and be in a quiet place and just breathe. And then you just start to ask yourself questions. And trust what the answers are. So there might be questions like, and it depends on what path you're heading down, but who am I talking to? Where am I working? Who's by my side? What are my kids doing? Asking yourself those questions. Oh, my energy's going off. And just being in that place of listening to yourself. Being totally away. Even if you do, for those of you who do meditation, do some meditation, get into the meditative state beforehand and listen to what your heart is telling you, because that's where the true answers lie, not in your head. And when you listen to your heart and you start speaking your message from your heart, like we talked about at the start of the interview, then that's when the business is about you. Doesn't mean it's solely dependent on you. I want to make that distinction. But that's the business is about you. It's about what you stand for. It's about your personal values. It's about your personality. It's about you, because people want to work with people who inspire them, who light them up, who motivate them, who understand them, who get them, who love them. And when you go from the heart, that's when you can allow that to happen.
Perfect. So I have a question about that. There's this space where you can get into meditative state and ideas just start flowing through, right?
Yeah.
So for some of the people who are consistent idea machines, might have a hard time focusing or actually choosing just one. It's almost like idea FOMO, fear of missing out. Do you have, for idea FOMO, do you have any recommendations for those people? Because I feel like sometimes that does come from the heart, but at what point, do you just sit down and choose something?
Yeah. Idea FOMO, perfect name for it. And I've got a really good girlfriend actually who has idea FOMO, and she's one of the most creative chicks who will be awesome when she does one. So she's got a business now, but she's got all these incredible things going on in her brain, and she's sort of started bits and pieces here and there, but she hasn't sunk into just one. And it is oftentimes we think from the head. So creative people will often see opportunities. So they'll go, oh, we could do that, and we could do that, and there's a gap there, and we could make that happen. So they're very creative, they're very entrepreneurial, but not all of them connect with the real them. So there's two things. One is, you just got to fucking start. So pick one and start. And know that even though you're picking one and focusing on it, it doesn't mean you don't get to do these other things. It doesn't mean everything else drops off. But until you start, you don't get the experience of whether you love it or whether you don't. You don't get the feedback of, is this working for me? What else do I want to create? No, this is not my path. That is my path. You've just got to start. But in doing that, the place to start is the thing that connects with you the most, the thing that connects with you the deepest, not where you see the dollars. Don't go where you see the dollars. It's not about, oh, there's massive bucks to be made over here. I can't go after this audience because there's not dollars there. That's your pre-framing. That's the way you look at the world and your belief system. There's money to be made everywhere if you're truly connecting with your audience. And so sit in it, breathe into it, feel it. Which one is the real you, the true you? And just start. And if you're that creative and that entrepreneurial, you'll be able to evolve so quickly as you go, but you've got to pick one to start.
Right. I heard a quote the other day. It was almost, I'm trying to remember what it was. It said, you can only make the right decision by making the wrong decision.
Oh, perfect.
Something like that. But you get it, right?
Yeah, I reckon you need to hashtag that one for yourself, because that's a very good quote.
Yeah, it definitely explained a lot of what I've personally been through this year, is that I was scrambling to make the right decisions, and I was just like, I was making wrong decisions. I don't know, it's like a circle of crap if you try to make the right decision over and over and over again.
Yeah, but it is also like, I have made so many, and I don't want to call them mistakes. I've had so many learnings, not only in this role, like in this business, which is my life stream or coming together, but in life, like in the business I was talking about, Spud Bar, I lost a shitload of money. And we've only recently paid off a lot of the old debt. And I used to beat myself up so much. Like, how can a woman as smart as I get to nearly 40, have old debt, not living to her potential, corporate game? And I was like, sure, like, how is this possible? And I used to be so angry with myself. And now I've learnt to look at everything from a place of love. It's like, well, that made me the person who I am. I learnt so many lessons out of that. All of the steps I've taken where the outcome wasn't what I expected, oh my God, I learnt so much from it. So instead of beating ourselves up, we just get to love it and love the lessons we learnt from it and go, well, this is my path to be the awesome person I am right now. This is what makes me me. And I actually really love me. So I can't hate all of that stuff and be shitty with that because I'm pretty cool.
100%. Okay, so something cool that we're going to give you guys, and you mentioned this earlier. What is this selfie video that you're going to give us?
Very excited to do this because I am so passionate about people sharing their message from the heart. So I've put a video together just for you guys, which is all about how to do your awesome selfie video. So for those of you who follow me, you'll see I do a video every single day. So how to make that easy for you, how to take away all those pains of, oh my God, I just don't know how to do it and where do I look and what happens, and that we've put together the step-by-step instructions for you guys to make that easy so you can rock out your videos, speak a message from the heart, and not worry about how it actually happens. What's the process? What's the technical things? We've got that all solved for you. So to get that, go to kirstenroberts.com/selfie video, SELFIE video, all one word. So kirstenroberts.com selfie video, and just put your name and email in and I'll shoot you the video that shows you that step-by-step approach to make it fun and easy and have a laugh while you're sharing your true message.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I feel like we've come to a good point. We've learned a lot by you on really how to build your business from the heart. And actually, to be completely honest with you, I'm going to take some of this and put it in my own business. Now, where can we find you and how might we be able to work with you?
Sure. Well, kirstenroberts.com is the website, but come and hang out with me on Facebook. So that's where I do most of my interactions. And so you can find me in Facebook, Kirsten Roberts. Just send me a friend request and we'll hook up. And because I love having chats and interacting with people. And yeah, if you want to start living your radical life, start peeling back all those layers that you've got and all those beliefs that you're not worthy, you're not good enough, I don't deserve this, as well as getting clear on your message from the heart, then come and hang out in my community. It's called the Radical Life Project, and it's a community of awesome women about filling our whole self up, about having great relationships, about nurturing ourselves, about how to grow our business from a beautiful place. So it really is about the whole of us, because that's what I believe in. We're not just a businesswoman. We're not just a mum. We're not just a woman. It's all of us, and that's what we're all about in the Radical Life Project.
Awesome. Perfect. So find Kirsten at www.kirstenroberts.com. So it's KIRSTN Roberts.com, if you guys didn't know how that was spelled. And wow, thank you for your time today and for teaching us all about what you do. And I guess we'll see you next time.
Yeah, that's lovely. Thanks so much. I had loads of fun.